of power. What I'm saying in an upshot is that what we are discussing as a house is within our work, is to law make. The work of the judiciary is to interpret. So let's listen to the wisdom. The matters of litigation we can leave to Senator Okiya Omtata, and then we proceed as an independent arm of government of separation of powers. It is as simple as that.
Senator Cherargei and Senator Omtata, senior counsel was paying attention to this point of order which was raised by Omtata, and he would have given his line of thought. But I think, Senator Omtata, what I would probably rule is that during your submission, when you're contributing to this motion, you can raise that matter and make your point to the senators, and probably the mover of this motion might be convinced to amend the motion. So I'll probably ask you to preserve your thoughts at this point in time and make your submissions during the time you're making a debate. Senator Enoch Omboa, you can proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the point of order, you have ruled on it. I would have been of the view that this motion does not seek to debate the report. What is before us is not the report of the Maraga team, but the mover of the motion has just made reference to a recommendation by that team. And the matter that we are discussing is a matter of great national importance. But that be as it may, Senator Okiya Omtata will have to decide what to do when his time comes, if that time comes. The Speaker, I stand here to support that motion. For the reason that, Mr. Speaker, police cells and police stations are actually ideally supposed to be the safest spaces for the Kenyan citizenry. And that whatever happens there, then it's important that it's put on record. And if then there is a breach of the law within the precincts of police stations and police cells, that information should be captured and stored. And in fact, I was going to be requesting the mover of the motion to try and maybe even make an amendment and prescribe the uptime for the CCTV cameras. So you don't just say that they are installed and they are functional, because they could be installed and they function 1 hour in a day and the rest of the time they're not functional. Though you prescribe the uptime, so that maybe 95% of the time they should, as a minimum, they should be functioning, so that the incidents that have happened in police cells, including the killing of young Ojwang, today perhaps if those CCTV cameras were working, we would be having a different conversation as a country. Mr. Speaker, I will request that the second of the motion, Senator Cherargei, now pays key attention to the things that I'm going to be saying next. He said that he wanted to listen to wisdom. And here is wisdom. Mr. Speaker, accountability, because the installation of CCTV cameras aids in promoting the pursuit of justice and accountability. Mr. Speaker, I have heard Senator Cherargei say that he needs those cameras to be installed so that we may know the people that are messing up with the justice system in this country. Mr. Speaker, the day before yesterday, I heard Senator Cherargei speak from the other side of his mouth about the pursuit of justice for Kenyan people, especially the civil society group. And I heard Senator Cherargei, the Speaker, inciting the President of the Republic of Uganda and the President of the Republic of Tanzania, and telling them that when Kenyan civil society cross over to pursue justice in the region, Mr. Speaker,
Senator,
Mr. Speaker, we agree that we are not going to be...
Senator Enoch Wambua, there's a point of order. What's your point of
but
order?
what is out of order now?
Senator Cherargei.
Mr. Speaker, I will deal with these howlers, Mr. Speaker, shortly. I will deal with these howlers shortly. Mr. Speaker, understanding order.
Senator Cherargei.
Understanding order 101.
Senator Cherargei, before you proceed, withdraw the word howlers. Withdraw the word howlers in this house.
Can I say I will disapprove my critics shortly, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, but
Mr.
you
Speaker,
withdraw the word howlers.
Of course, Mr. Speaker, to howl is just to lift. Mr. Speaker, let me withdraw so that we have a civil discourse.
Proceed.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, understanding order 101, and you know Article 123, there is creation of what we call standing orders and establishment. Article 123 of the Constitution. These standing orders is a creation of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, standing order 101, and allow me to read standing order 101, part 4. No senator shall impute improper motive to any other senator or to a member of the National Assembly except upon a specific substantive motion of which at least 3 days notice has been given, calling in question the conduct of that senator or the member of the Assembly. Is it in order for Deputy Minority Leader and a close ally of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka to impute improper motive without a substantive motion? Mr. Speaker, he should withdraw and apologize, Mr. Speaker, unless there is a substantive motion. The day substantive motion against Senator Cherargei will come here, I will defend myself, both on air and sea and everything that I have, Mr. Speaker. Is it in order? Can he withdraw and apologize, Mr. Speaker? Please. You cannot threaten a dry Kalenjin man, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wambua.
Senator Cherargei, relax. Relax, Senator Cherargei. We listen to you when you are talking. You are calm. Mr. Speaker, two things. One, I have not even landed. I have not even said anything. I just mentioned. Mr. Speaker, the same standing orders, Mr. Speaker, prohibit Senator Cherargei and myself from anticipating debate. I have not said anything. What is he complaining about? Why are you scared? What are you scared of? Mr. Speaker, secondly, Mr. Speaker, I have not brought into dispute the character of Senator of Nandi. I've just made reference to statements that he made, statements that are in public domain. Statements, Mr. Speaker, that are being reacted to by his own church. Mr. Speaker, it has nothing to do with me. Mr. Speaker, can you just allow me to land? Mr. Speaker, can I just land? Because I have
Senator Cherargei, Senator Enoch Wambua has stated on the floor of the House that he has not completed his statement. Can we allow him to go through the same train of thoughts to complete his statements about you? Then we will know what action to take against him. Proceed, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Senator Cherargei is my gym-mate. We go to the gym together. And he pretends all the time, he tells me I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior. Now I'm wondering, why is he trembling? I have not even said anything. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the warriors in this house must act and behave like warriors. Yes. And face the consequences of their decisions and their utterances head on. Mr. Speaker, I subscribe to the Christian faith, and that is not in dispute. So when I see fellow pastors and preachers and bishops raising concerns over statements made by a member of this house, where I sit, Mr. Speaker, it must prick my conscience. And I must ask ourselves, the Speaker, if we are defenders of the rights of the people of Kenya, if we are saying that we want our police cells to be safe spaces, installed with CCTV cameras, why are we unleashing terror on people who are pursuing justice for our friends, our brothers, our sisters across the borders? The Speaker, that's exactly what I'm saying. And what I'm saying, the Speaker, is, and I was asking myself last night, Mr. Speaker, what shall the Speaker do? A member of his house, the Agas House, has called upon presidents of neighboring countries to oppress the people that we are supposed to be representing in this house. What is the Speaker supposed to deal? How is the Speaker supposed to deal with that member of the house? Mr. Speaker, what are you going to do with that member of the house? Because, Mr. Speaker, truth be told, Mr. Speaker, when those news came out,
Senator,
they never talked about the Senator of Nandi.
Senator Enoch, you are continuously challenging the Speaker to take action on an individual he doesn't know about. Are you able to mention the individual so that the Speaker can know what actions to take?
Mr. Speaker, I had bishops of the Anglican, the Kenya Assemblies of God, making reference to the Senator of Nandi and saying that the pulpit was desecrated. The Senator of Nandi should never have used the pulpit to say the things that he said. Those are not my words, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, those are the words of the bishops of the Kenya Assemblies of God. Mr. Speaker, what I'm trying to say here is this. We must walk the talk. As leaders in this country, Mr. Speaker, if we are serious about protecting the rights of the people that we represent, we must do it at home and abroad. If we are serious, Mr. Speaker, about pursuing justice for the Kenyan people, then that justice must be pursued both for the people that speak the language that we speak and the people that speak a different language. People who take the same position that we take and people who take different positions. Mr. Speaker, at an appropriate time, maybe this House, Mr. Speaker, we want to do exactly what Senator Cherargei is challenging us to do, to bring a substantive motion and discuss the character of our colleague. Perhaps, Mr. Speaker, that is what we should do. Because, Mr. Speaker, what has happened is that this House, in its entirety, has been put into shame. Mr. Speaker, with those very few remarks and very kind words to my brother and my colleague, Senator Cherargei, Mr. Speaker, I support the motion and ask Mr. Speaker that we all adhere to the principle, Mr. Speaker, of separation of power. Nobody should tell us that we cannot discuss this matter because reference had been made to the Maraga committee. Mr. Speaker, I support.
Senator Edwin Sifuna.
You know, Honorable Speaker, I had the seconder of this motion, the Honorable Senator for Nandi, Samson Cherargei Kiprotich, speaking about the death of Albert Ojwang in the cells at Central Police Station, as if he was not aware that when that happened, in fact, in that specific police station, there were CCTV cameras installed in that particular station. But what we have been told by IPOA is that somebody was bold enough to disable or to mess with the footage that would have captured the moment at which we lost our brother, Albert Ojwang. Yes. And Mr. Speaker, this is the reason why context of the behavior of police officers, the context of the behavior of public officers is extremely critical. We, as Kenyans, when we passed this constitution, Honorable Speaker, we were in a certain frame of mind. Mr. Speaker, if you want to know the frame of mind that Kenyans were in, you have to go to the preamble of the Constitution. And Honorable Speaker, because I like to teach, you will allow me to explain what the context of the Constitution is when we were passing it. If you look at the preamble, Honorable Speaker, Kenyan people committed to nurturing and protecting the well-being of the individual, the family, communities, and the nation. Those of us who went to proper law schools know that when names or words are used in a certain order, it is not a fluke. There is a reason why it starts with the individual, the family, communities, and the nation. Honorable Speaker, we have another basic principle, the frame of mind that Kenyans were in when we were giving ourselves this constitution, because they say it's a very progressive document, but it required a very specific kind of government to be able to ensure that it is implemented. And that government is specified under the preamble that it has to be a government based on the essential values of human rights, equality, freedom, democracy, social justice, and the rule of law. Again, Honorable Speaker, when phrases are used one after the other, it is important for you to pay attention to the order in which they are used. Here, we started with human rights. It was deliberate, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, because of the history of this country, with police brutality, abductions, detention without trial, torture, kidnappings, we went ahead and provided, Honorable Speaker, that there are four specific rights that cannot under any circumstances, Honorable Speaker, be derogated from. And those rights are enumerated at Article 25, I think. Let me just read it, Honorable Speaker. Article 25, which is the only article that talks about fundamental rights and freedoms that may not be limited. So it doesn't matter the circumstances. You cannot derogate from these rights. And they are, number one, freedom from torture and cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. Freedom from torture, cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. Number two, Honorable Speaker, freedom from slavery or servitude. Number three, the right to a fair trial. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, the right to an order of habeas corpus. The right to an order of habeas corpus for those farmers in the House, like Senator Methu, is an order for the production of somebody who is in the custody of police officers. Speaker, the culture of impunity that we have created in this country is what gives a police officer at Central Police Station the confidence to know that even for the CCTV commits murder, we've been told should be the confidence as a Honorable Speaker, that I cannot, a member of this House who claims to be a legal get visions of support a situation cruel and dehuman. Honorable Speaker, there was a very serious case of some of our activists who went to stand with our brothers in Tanzania. My good friend, the chairperson of Chadema, Tundu Lissu, who has been facing treason charges. My brother John Heche, who was arrested at the border of Tanzania when he was coming to Mon Baba, somebody who has been his friend for many years. When some of our colleagues here, including respected people, tried to go there to stand in solidarity with these great movers, members of the democracy movement, they were subjected to some of the most inhuman things that you will ever have to countenance and go through. I hear people calling themselves Kalenjin warriors on the floor of this House. Some of the things that we heard from Boniface Mwangi, I would want to know why a Kalenjin warrior would wish any of that punishment and mistreatment on any human being, Kalenjin warrior or not. So, Honorable Speaker, it disgusts us. And one of the things that is the most disgusting for me as senators is that some of these characters wearing ODM colors, calling themselves founder members of ODM. Mr. Speaker, they say birds of a feather flock together. Those are not our colors. Those are not our people. Those are not our values. The ODM party is a party that is known for justice. Manufacturers, we are the best. There is no way to associate with characters who run around saying people should be subjected to inhuman and degrading treatment.
Senator Sifuna,
So,
there's a
Honorable
point of
Speaker,
order. There's a point of order. What's your point of order, Cherargei?
Mr. Speaker, I raise understanding on the 101.1. I've heard Senator Sifuna mention a number of names and the judicial conducts like Tundu Lissu, Heche, that come from Tanzania. It's on record. Here, Mr. Speaker, when you read understanding 101.1, it says neither the personal conduct of the president, nor the conduct of the speaker or of any judge, nor judicial conduct of any other person performing judicial functions, nor any other conduct of head of state or government or the representative of Kenya or any friendly country, or the conduct of the holder of office whose removal from such is dependent upon decision of the Senate shall be referred adversely except upon a specific substantive motion of which at least 3 days notice has been given. The reading, the upshot, is it in order for Senator Sifuna to refer to other matters? We are aware that Tundu Lissu is undergoing judicial process in Tanzania. It is on record. But is it in order for him to refer to such matters in a friendly neighboring country without a substantive motion, which we don't have a problem? If he brings it, it would be in order. Is it in order, Mr. Speaker? Can he withdraw and confine himself within the standing orders, Mr. Speaker, of Standing Order 120 of the standing orders? You should listen.
Honorable Speaker, I wish the Honorable Cherargei listens to people making submissions on this floor. And if he can't listen, at least exercise his ability to read, even that standing order that he has read. Clearly, Honorable Speaker, although I know the names of the judicial officers who are involved in the cases in Tanzania, I have not mentioned them. Although I know the people who are responsible for torture abduction of Tanzanians and Kenyans in Tanzania, I have not mentioned them. I am speaking about my friends. If you don't have any friends across the border or anywhere away from Nandi County, that's your own problem. I have not mentioned anybody in that authority. Mr. Speaker, therefore, allow me to continue uninterrupted. The point that I was making. Speaker, we need to create a country that resembles that which we wanted when we passed this constitution. And the point that I was making as SG of ODM, still, Honorable Speaker, wearing that color is not what makes you a good person. That color represents something. We know what we stand for. When somebody sees ODM, they know what it means. So just donning a cap, if you don a cap and you're the ones denying people the right of habeas corpus, our founder, our party leader, the late Raila Amolo Odinga, was a subject of detention for 9 years without trial. His family suffered. His kids missed him, his wife. They were tortured and, even emotional. So when you wear that color, you should know what it represents. You don't just go there, put it on, then you say, oh, I'm a founder member, and start shouting two-term. That's not who we are. Honorable Speaker, the constitution of ODM is molded so closely to the constitution of this country because we are a rights party. So, Speaker, let me tell you this. We want a country where human rights, human dignity is respected. The reports that have been referenced here, including reports from IMLU, they tell us that almost 20 young people have died in police custody, all in prison cells or remand facilities between January and now. Speaker, that is not a statistics that we have made up. It is a serious issue. Almost 60 people have died because of extrajudicial killings. And these proposals are good, Honorable Speaker, because we have seen even in the streets sometimes when young people are trying to capture the police breaking the law, they themselves who are trying to record what is going on are subjected to violence. So let it be that we get this footage from our own equipment that has been installed by the taxpayer. But if we do not develop a culture of respect for the rule of law as stated in the preamble of the Constitution, Honorable Speaker, there's nothing we are doing. So, Speaker, we have to have a conversations. We have spoken here during the motion on the State of the Nation about even reviewing of police standing orders and their operational, what are they called? Yes, there's SOPs, standard operating procedures. Honorable Speaker, because again, I will not tire to remind the country that I am the author of the MOU signed between Raila Odinga and President Ruto. Honorable Speaker, the review of the police standing orders, because I made sure that because I'm a senator, I incorporated the resolutions of this House during the debate on the State of the Nation in that MOU. I had some person running around who was not even in the room when the telling us that it is at 50% implementation. He doesn't know. Because I know him, he's my friend. When that, it is not something debate we will have. It's not something somebody will tell you. You will hear from the people on the ground. Speaker, yes, mambo ya. Honorable Speaker, when that MOU is implemented, nobody will know its implementation. We will see compensation of the victims of police brutality. They will tell you the money is in their accounts. They will tell you that the SOPs, the standard operating procedures of the police were brought to this House. They have been amended, and now we have a people-friendly police force or service. Honorable Speaker, they will tell you that devolution is working. Those are the things that we incorporated in that. And we want to urge Kenyans, Honorable Speaker, not to fall into this trap of encouraging a clawback of all the gains we've had. Honorable Speaker, the things that are happening in our neighboring countries, they used to happen here. They used to happen here. You remember the fight we had about constitution or reconstitution of the IEBC. You hear the stories from our neighbors where they are still in the era where the president just determines who's running the election. Honorable Speaker, we are transported back to 1992, over 30 years. Say, and he uses. You sound like a Kanu youth winger from 1991. You're giving me night. I remember the advent of so that it remains that hearing from the House found the members of
Senator Nabwire.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. My name is Consolata Nabwire Wakwabubi. I would like to contribute towards this motion about installing CCTV cameras in police stations and police cells and police desks. This one is a very essential tool to enhance safety and also deter criminal, as well as supporting best investigation. The installation of CCTV was necessary, but it is no longer. There is need for a point. I want to be very particular to the police stations, police cells, the police desks, and even at a later point, maybe I would like to request the mover to put something else regarding the high-risk areas that can also be used to enhance community policing as a safety measure. You look at these CCTVs, and we find out that they are both for protection of both the law enforcement officers as well as the public, because sometimes some evidence is hidden or is deleted and therefore we cannot be able to get that ample evidence to move a case or maybe to interrogate a case. There are so many things that happen in the police cells. For example, we have custodial deaths, or we have alleged brutality, and to even have GBV cases that are meted upon some of the victims in the police cells, in the police stations, and even in the police, at the police desks. So it will be ideal for us to advocate for this CCTV coverage, even in rural areas that are close to police stations or police cells. It is also important for us to note that there is need to have a clear maintenance or monitoring frameworks towards these CCTVs. Let's have a clear framework spelling out who are to monitor the cameras, how data is stored, and maybe the timelines for maintaining and repairing faulty equipment of some of these CCTV cameras. So let's also have strong data protection guidelines to safeguard any data that we have. I want to stop there and conclude by saying that I support the motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to start by congratulating the owner of this motion, Senator Nyamu. I think this is a very progressive motion to have been brought by a specially elected member in the name of Senator Nyamu. And Mr. Speaker, you are aware that the government, through the CS Interior, Murkomen, also made a public statement that we would like all police stations to have CCTV cameras for the purpose of monitoring what happens in those police stations. Mr. Speaker, this debate around having CCTV in all our police stations was ignited by the torture that has been happening in our police station, with particular focus on Mr. Ojwang, who is alleged to have been victimized, tortured in the police cells. So this is going to be a very important motion, if passed by this House, to ensure that we completely eliminate what we call custodial torture, that torturing of prisoners in police cells, in police station. So I want to support it. But Mr. Speaker, just echoing my colleagues who have raised concern about the matter of torture in this country and even externally. Mr. Speaker, the issue of torture of Kenyans in Tanzania and Uganda, it is not an issue that we can laugh about, especially if we are leaders in this country. It is not an issue that we can celebrate. It is not an issue that we can try and play politics with. So this weekend, we were very disappointed that one of us, who happens to be my friend, and who brings very good motion to this House, that he is celebrating torture, Mr. Speaker, by encouraging the Ugandan president, who we know how he came to power, Mr. Speaker, by encouraging Tanzanian president, who has even been accused by other leaders in Africa. Other leaders in Africa.
Senator Cherargei, what's your point of order?
I stand Article 123. These standing orders is a creation of the Constitution. I want to appeal that colleagues should read and internalize. Standing Order 101 part 1 talks about the conduct. When you hear my brother, Senator Otsotsi, who I hope he will be the governor of Iga, alluding to how Museveni rose to power, on how Samia Suluhu is running Tanzania, Mr. Speaker, is discussing the conduct of the president of a friendly nation, which is contravening our own standing orders. You cannot call out somebody for the wrong, and then you are committing the wrong yourself. Mr. Speaker, can you withdraw, or within 3 days, submit to your office a substantive of President Museveni, or withdraw for contravening our own standing order, specifically standing order 101 part 1, Mr. Speaker. And you know, it is sad, Mr. Speaker, that the person making statement is the deputy.
Senator, what's your point of order, Senator Sifuna?
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 121, it is actually disorderly conduct for people to stand up all the time during debate to raise false points of order. Please encourage Senator Cherargei to read the whole provision that he's referring to. It talks about mentioning someone adversely. Now, adversely means in bad light. I don't know how many euphemisms. I wish I spoke his local dialect. I translate for him. The senator for Viga has not mentioned anybody adversely. He has just said, if you consider the manner in which they rose to power, what is adverse with that? What is adverse with that? And they have not mentioned anybody's name. Can Senator Cherargei allow debate to flow instead of raising these frivolous points of order? And Mr. Speaker, one final request. I think as a colloquium of speakers, we must now determine how it is possible that there's only one person who knows when people are out of order. That the entire afternoon, it is just Sifuna saying point of order and being granted. Maybe there should be a limit to the number of times that you can rise on points of order. You are not the only senator in this house. We have 67 of us. How is it that only one person can see when people are out of order?
Mr. Speaker, I think I want to agree with
Senator Otsotsi, having listened to the points of orders, and for the first time, Senator Sifuna would want to disagree with you, because Senator Otsotsi did mention the heads of state of Uganda and the heads of state of he said, or he imputed in the manner in which they were sworn into office. So, Senator Otsotsi, I would ask you to withdraw that and proceed to make your submissions.
Mr. Speaker, just a correction. I never said in the manner in which he was sworn into office.
In the manner in which they came into power.
I said, in my own words, I said, if the manner consider nothing about this. There's nothing adverse that power through a military. It is a fact.
And Senator of Tanzania?
I never said more about the Tanzanian president.
But you mentioned her. You mentioned the head of Tanzania.
But Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker,
in the same sentence that you made reference to Uganda, you made reference to Tanzania as well.
Mr.
Majority
Speaker.
Leader, what's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, Senator Otsotsi is making his case worse. Because that's not the only way you get to power in Uganda. He needs to know that subsequently, after that event which he refers to in 1986, the year I was born, the president of Uganda has gone ahead to win 7 other elections. Mr. Speaker, how can, out of 8 instances where you become president, one particular incident, the first one, becomes your only reference point? I mean, to the best of my knowledge, Mr. Speaker, I feel that Senator Otsotsi may not initially have made an adverse comment, but as he continues now to perpetuate his point, he's actually now treading towards that adverse mentioning.
What's your point of order, Senator Eddy? Give him the mic.
Mr. Speaker, do I go become minority?
Use that one. There's a next mic up next to you. Here, Sifuna inafanya. Wacha niende dispatch. Basi useme kitu ya maana kwa dispatch.
Mr. Speaker, I still want to insist that Senator Cherargei is raising on frivolous point of order, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm on a point of order. This again is still frivolous, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the standing order for which my friend Senator Ososi is being accused of, 101, the word is that standing order does not prohibit you from mentioning any name. It prohibits you from imputing improper motive or mentioning a name adversely. Mentioning a name is not a bad thing. And Mr. Speaker, if you see what the majority has just talked about, he is considering the circumstances. And that is what Senator Osotsi invited us to think. And if you consider, the English word, if you consider, then you end up mentioning the name. I don't see what the problem is with that, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I think that you should rule out Senator Cherargei out of order, not Senator Osotsi, because he's not mentioning these names adversely. He's giving you English word if theory that we classes, Mr. Speaker. He has not implied any improper motive on these individuals. In any case, the majority leader would be out of order for considering those circumstances, Mr. Speaker. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
What's your point of order, Senator Cherargei?
Mr. Speaker,
Senator Sifuna, there is no limitation over how many times you can stand on a point of order. So allow the senator his right.
Mr. Speaker, if my memory serves me right, you have made a ruling towards the matter that I raised on standing 101. Would it be in order, because it looks like we are discussing your ruling, which is unheard of, would it be 120 disorderly conduct, of cross disorderly conduct, if the ruling or the chairperson of committee order, because the Senate is it in order to invite for the rest of
Senator Cherargei, there is no need to guide the speaker or the chair. I am following closely, and Senator Osotsi has not refused. He is not out of order or disorderly out of order. He was just explaining his submission. Senator Osotsi, please withdraw and then conclude your submission.
Mr. Speaker, you know, I really wanted to have a flowing contribution, but I'm being disrupted every now and then. But I would want to make Senator Cherargei happy, because I know where he's speaking from and where he wants us to go. So for his sake, I will withdraw. But the truth remains that our Kenyans have been tortured in Tanzania and our Kenyans have been tortured in Uganda, Mr. Speaker. That even the person he's trying to protect, he himself said in the public space that Kenyans were tortured in Uganda. So I will withdraw that bit to make him happy, so that I can continue with my debate. Mr. Speaker, this issue of custodial torture, it is something that must be dealt with. And one way of dealing with it's having CCTV in public spaces within the police station. But this must be exercised with some caution, Mr. Speaker. And I want to support what one member said, that this must be weighed against the data protection rights and principles, so that we don't have a scenario where the rights of prisoners or the rights of even police officers who work there are infringed upon. In some jurisdiction, Mr. Speaker, they put CCTV in police station, but they don't put them in some private places in the police station. For example, I know in the UK, they don't put CCTV in places like bathrooms or even custodial places where prisoners sleep. So I think this motion should be amended so that to say that it should comply with the data protection principles and guidelines, and of course, our data protection law. Mr. Speaker, we have also heard that some of these CCTVs have been interfered with. And you heard in the case of Ojwang, where it was alleged that CCTV footage and images has been interfered with. So I think even as we talk about having CCTV in police station, we need also to insist that the law in processing this information must be complied with, particularly the law on computer misuse and cybercrime act, which is very clear that if you infringe on data or you manipulate data, then it becomes a criminal offense. That will be important in this case so that to protect data that is being captured by those CCTVs. Mr. Speaker, the other bit, if I go back to the Data Protection Act, is that police stations must now be designated as data controllers and processors for the purpose of ensuring that the data they capture is compliant with the Data Protection Act, particularly Section 8 of that Act, which says that data processors and controllers must promote self-regulations among themselves. I don't know how the police stations will be able to do this, given the conditions of our police station and given the conduct of some police officers. So what I'm proposing is that maybe this bill, this motion, can be amended so that it will incorporate in aspects of relevant law, that is the Data Protection Act and the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act. This is a good motion, but I think maybe we need converting this motion into a legislation so that it is very clear on what offenses can be enforced on people who violate this installation of CCTV. Still on the installation of CCTV, Mr. Speaker, I think the crime rate in Nairobi has gone up, Mr. Speaker, and a few years back, we had a very big project in this city to put CCTV all over. The project was being undertaken by the Kenyan government and Safaricom. I think at some point, this House, particularly the Committee of Security, should consider this matter and tell this House what exactly happened. That the country spent a lot of money, billions of money, and the system is not working. What happened, Mr. Speaker? These are some of the things, Mr. Speaker, that are going to be a major factor, even as we think about having CCTV in all police stations. We are talking about 1,209 police stations. This is huge amount of data, which requires investment in ICT infrastructure, having servers, having good connectivity, and having routine and continuous maintenance of this infrastructure and management of this infrastructure. So this is not a small project. This is a huge project, and I hope this project is not going to be like the Safaricom Kenya government CCTV project for Nairobi, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I support And I want to encourage that, moving forward, Mr. Speaker, such important debates.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Eddie Okech.
I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I'll actually make very quick comments that are very direct. Mr. Speaker, what we have seen in our police cells is disheartening, dehumanizing, and most importantly, still the dignity of a system of justice that starts with police cells or police custody overly, Mr. Speaker, because the mantra is always that anybody who gets to these police cells, if, for instance, you have not been taken to court, Mr. Speaker, you are innocent until proven guilty, Mr. Speaker. And we have seen people who end up enduring some dehumanizing acts in the hands of police or police custody, Mr. Speaker, to the extent that even if they have not been taken to court, Mr. Speaker, they have been dehumanized. And Mr. Speaker, this is not just in the extent of sometimes killing or brutal killing in the hands of the police, but also sometimes it's also in terms of just being mishandled by inmates in those police cells, Mr. Speaker. So this is one of those motions, Mr. Speaker, that it is timely, it is something that is needed. In fact, we are behind, Mr. Speaker, if you compare with some advanced countries that have made strides. Police cells are handled, Mr. Speaker, or generally police institutions. We need this as urgent as possible, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to put this in of human progress and humanity discourse, Mr. Speaker, what our Constitution chooses to call human rights, Mr. Speaker. I think, Mr. Speaker, there is no freedom when freedom is limited to a country like Kenya, and you have these wonderful laws that we're putting in place. We are thinking about revamping our police cells. We are thinking about accountability by our police systems. We are thinking about responsibility by those who handle people who find themselves in police cells or any authority, Mr. Speaker, when any of us can imagine that this can only happen in Kenya, and when you're without Kenya, you should not be able to enjoy those rights, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have seen people argue today the comments that were made by a member of this House in what's happening in the region, and sometimes it's very easy, Mr. Speaker, to say that what does not concern us is what affects our neighbors next door, Mr. Speaker. I want to tell you, Mr. Speaker, that I know of people, and I'm willing to table that report, Mr. Speaker. I know of Kenyans who have suffered in the hands of police in our neighboring countries. That's one. I also know of Kenyans who have been killed and maimed in the hands of police institutions in the region, Mr. Speaker. And when we talk about the concept of a sub-regional or regional cooperation that we think about in the East African region, Mr. Speaker, it is not an issue of a laughing matter, Mr. Speaker. Like what a member of this House went and saying that what is happening in Uganda does not concern us, and what is happening in Tanzania does not concern us, or even the region generally, Mr. Speaker. The truth is, Mr. Speaker, before 1977, Mr. Speaker, this region had desired to have an integrated system that can be able to allow for fulfillment of human dignity. And those dignities, Mr. Speaker, were not only limited to economic merit of individuals. If you read what the corporation that established the treaty that collapsed in 1977, Mr. Speaker, that corporation desired to look at economic merit, political merit, and social merit of our people in the region, Mr. Speaker. So it is in bad faith, Mr. Speaker, if a member of this House can go out there and say that If there is torture in our neighborhoods of individuals who are civil society, Mr. Speaker, or otherwise, any members of our society who have been caught in Tanzania or in Uganda, if there is any torture, then that torture is okay because we are not sub judice to any issues that are happening in those regions, Mr. Speaker. It is very disheartening. Because, Mr. Speaker, if you remember the collapse of the East African community in 1977, Mr. Speaker, what happened was there were three issues that were raised. One was lack of a strong participation of the private sector at that time. And then, Mr. Speaker, there was lack of strong political will. But most importantly, Mr. Speaker, there was lack of strong civil society in the corporation's activities, Mr. Speaker. This is what is cited in the 1999 treaty that revamped the treaty that we had in the East African, a journey that started from 1905, Mr. Speaker. If you look at the treaties that we looked at from 1905 in this region for the East African Cooperation, Mr. Speaker, those treaties desired to bring about an integrated system that included the justice system, Mr. Speaker, to the extent that we have seen that members of this society, including one activist and also a leader in this country, Mr. Speaker, that I'm mentioning in good light, Honorable Martha Karua, when we lost an election at some point and we could not get justice in the Supreme Court, she desired to go to the East African Court in Tanzania, Mr. Speaker. And if you read the treaty that is established in 1999 that revised this treaty, Mr. Speaker, it allows for free movement of goods, services, capital, and labor in the community, Mr. Speaker. So we are not so separate from Tanzania, we are not so separate from Uganda, so that any injustice in Tanzania, any injustice in Uganda is injustice in Kenya. And any injustice in Kenya is injustice to the people of Uganda and Tanzania, Mr. Speaker. We are not different because we have got a legal entity that guides the three countries, the 1999 treaty, Mr. Speaker. And I feel disheartened, Mr. Speaker, when we are talking in this house, a member of this house who had the audacity, Mr. Speaker, of going out there and praising and encouraging atrocities against citizens of this region, Mr. Speaker, by authorities in Tanzania and by authorities in Uganda, praising that and watering it as something that should be celebrated, Mr. Speaker, is unacceptable, Mr. Speaker. In fact, I want to wish the members of this House the courage, Mr. Speaker, that this should be the first time a member of this House is brought with a substantive motion on the issue of injustice that we have just seen happening in Uganda, Mr. Speaker, and the injustice we saw happening in Tanzania, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if a Kenyan has been allowed by Treaty of 1999 to be in Tanzania to do business, and then they are found in a situation where we saw in the elections that have just ended in Tanzania, Mr. Speaker, they are found in a situation whereby there is war, there is fights, there is all these atrocities, and then they die, Mr. Speaker, in Tanzania. Should we celebrate, Mr. Speaker? Must we celebrate something like that, Mr. Speaker? Injustice, the mantra, Mr. Speaker, is always that. The injustice that you face in your country, and you might think that it's made to your country, is an injustice to other countries. Injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere, Mr. Speaker. And it doesn't happen up until when a member of this House finds themselves in Arusha, where you have gone for a committee, Mr. Speaker, and then you are found in the frenzy of these activities that are happening in these other countries without anybody to fight for you. Then you find yourself between life and death situation, Mr. Speaker. Then you will appreciate the essence of the trees that we are building in this country. So we must never accept, Mr. Speaker. In fact, when we pass this kind of motion, Mr. Speaker, we must push that it becomes adopted in the region. For instance, Mr. Speaker, why is the government of Kenya paying for members of Yala money to be able to legislate in Yala if we are not one community, Mr. Speaker? We are paying because we are tied by the hip on legislative principles, on all integration manners in this region, Mr. Speaker, so that some of the things that are good that we are doing in this country, Mr. Speaker, can also go to our neighbors, Mr. Speaker. And I remember, Mr. Speaker, last year, when the country was burning here, Mr. Speaker, we were called the name Jirani. And our children were bastardized and told to be having bad manners. And this discussion, Mr. Speaker, was nowhere other than the Parliament of Tanzania, Mr. Speaker. So was it okay that we were being discussed in terms of character, in terms of values, in a parliament discussion in Tanzania, and we cannot discuss the same problem that we have seen in those regions, Mr. Speaker, that affect us, when our own member in this House, Mr. Speaker, has come to laud them? Mr. Speaker, what the Senator of Nandi said about what is happening in Uganda and the behavior of regime in Uganda and Tanzania is a shame and must be called as such, and as a House, we should not tolerate it, Mr. Speaker. And in the spirit of broad-based, Mr. Speaker, where one of the principles of broad-based may so rest in peace, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, Mr. Speaker, fought for the freedoms that we are enjoying in this country. I doubt in Raila's heart that that freedom was limited to being freedom that can only be enjoyed within Kenya, Mr. Speaker. It is freedom for humanity that must be enjoyed within and without the borders of Kenya. For all human race, Mr. Speaker, for all humanity, Mr. Speaker, in the continent, we must start being one African people. That the pain that is in Mali, the pain that is in South Africa, the pain that is in Cote d'Ivoire must affect us as a people, Mr. Speaker, because we are one African people, we are one humanity, Mr. Speaker, and therefore I condemn what my brother Senator Cherargei did pronounce in the weekend about what's happening in Uganda, Mr. Speaker, and about our colleagues and our people and the city of this country who are detained in Uganda, Mr. Speaker. Detention is something that you will never want to see. And I like this bill, this motion, Mr. Speaker, because it is a one step forward to making sure that this kind of dubious things that happens behind bars when people are in custody, Mr. Speaker, don't ever happen, Mr. Speaker. The pain we felt as young people when Albert Ojwang died in a police cell, Mr. Speaker, is a pain that we never want to see any other young person face in this country, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, this is a very important motion, Mr. Speaker, and I hope that we can support it, and I hope that even our colleagues in the lower house, Mr. Speaker, will support this kind of motion to make sure that we can monitor, we can be able to see what is happening in real time, and even post an event in a police cell, Mr. Speaker, and protect the dignity of lives in our country. And therefore, I support, Mr. Speaker, and I hope that we as a House will pass this with the haste that it requires to make it a reality in our country. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Okiya Omtata.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank you for the opportunity to contribute to this motion. And guided by the ruling you made, I will not refer to the decision that was made by the land judge. And I'm happy that the contributions have not referred to that decision. So we take it that we are basically contributing on this motion in terms of our understanding of the situation in this country as it stands today. Mr. Speaker, I fully agree that the motion will contribute, the motion contributes to transparency and accountability and the possibility of other things. But we must realize that we cannot fix a cultural problem using technology. Technology can only enhance an attitude. We have had problems even with the elections, with the Kim's kids and whatever we have had in conclusive elections. So our attitude is what needs to be done, changed. Our culture is what we need to address, and technology cannot fix that. We just heard that the cameras were turned off in the Ojwang case. There have been no consequences to that. It is not a question of cameras. I think it's a question of attitude. And I think what we must look at maybe is the autonomy of the police. How autonomous is our police force? How independent is the police force? And of course, I also want to point out the dangers that Senator Osotsi has raised in terms of privacy issues. We also have got issues whereby this beautiful thing can easily become a white elephant where we dump a lot of money into it, as happened with the police surveillance cameras, and hardly get any value out of it. I would also want to look at the work environment of the police officer. I've seen police officers walking in torn shoes, tattered uniforms, or weather-beaten uniforms. I assume that person is coming from a home where things are not okay. We have seen police stations. There's one in Mathare, totally unfit for human habitation. It's a police station. So, somebody wearing a body cam in such a situation, I wonder what he will do with that cam. Let us look at the holistic environment within which the police operate, and this just be one of the interventions that we put there, maybe at the tail end, but most important, we must change the culture. I've been detained in police cells 29 times. And all those times, you'll find that the first thing you get to know is where the toilet is in the police cells, because the stench is horrible from most police cells. So, how do you think of the people who work in those environments? Go to Pangani police station here and see the conditions under which the officers are serving. It's not a small police station. It's a major police station. So I think this motion, timely as it is, needs to be expanded to address the entire question of policing in this country. We enter the culture of disregarding the police, the culture of misusing the police, the culture of not being professional in the way they work, the culture of not giving police the equipment and the tools to work with. You'll find the police officers go on the beat, they're armed with a G3 rifle. If such a police officer is threatened by a suspect who's going maybe to arrest or to arraign, he's going to use devastating force to try and protect himself. We may need equipment like stun guns that can immobilize a hostile suspect and allow the police to arrest him safely. So I personally think that we need to look at the whole question of policing in a holistic manner, and also look at the legal framework within which the police are operating. You know very well that in 2014, we amended, when I say we, I mean Parliament, amended the Police Service Act, the National Police Service Act, to remove the requirement for the competitive recruitment of the Inspector General of Police, the Deputy Inspector General of Police, the two Deputy Inspectors General of Police, and the Director of Criminal Investigations. It also amended to remove the security of tenure that these people enjoyed. So at the end of the day, the police are put under the command of whoever has the capacity to appoint the IG, to appoint the deputy IGs, and to appoint the DCI. And we have seen that from that 2014, the appointments of these people have not been on merit. They have been based on a standard that has escaped the comprehension of some of us who pursue detail. It's a mysterious standard. So, in a situation like that, where the police are basically working at the pleasure of the president, the police command is working at the pleasure of the president, that police force can hardly be independent. It's not independent. It can hardly be professional. So I think we need to look at the police issues in slightly more serious manner than we do. Right now, if you go to my county, we have got an AP police station in Busia town, which is right on the border. The other side of the compound opens into Uganda. How safe are those policemen? If you go to Teso Central, which was created simply recently, which was carved out of Teso South. The Teso South group moved out with all the equipment. The officer who sits in Amukura in Teso Central, the police, the AP police, have nothing to use. And then they are respect to police. Those kind of conditions will not create an environment where policing can be considered to be democratic policing or the policing that is required in a democratic republic like Kenya. So it's my plea to this House that as we look at this motion, which is a good motion, maybe we consider expanding it to cover the totality of the welfare of the police. So that once you have taken care of the individual who is supposed to police us, then you can expect them to keep those standards that we have placed upon them. But if we violate the rights of the police to housing, the rights of the police to fair salaries, the rights of police to other things that we seek to enjoy, the rights to education, to health, working conditions. You find policemen have got no vehicles, or if they have a vehicle, they've got no fuel. They're buying uniforms. They're not supplied with uniforms. When they come on operations, we're having the riots we have, the demonstrations we had in this country recently. I used to look at the policemen, and none of them, there were no rations. Even water, a person is doing very serious work of protecting society. He has to go and buy water. There's no backup. What happens to police rations? What happens to these rations that go for operations? When you look at the budgets, there's a lot of money for operations, there's a lot of money for whatever. Where does that money go? And especially the lower ranks of the police. They go out, they work very hard, they sleep rough. Then they are sometimes paid some small allowances, which again they are seen as steal. So I think we need to address the question of policing in Kenya in a more comprehensive and exhaustive manner, beyond what this motion is proposing, and maybe include some of the issues that are in this motion, so that, having expanded this motion, we can comprehensively and conclusively say that we have addressed the question of policing. Otherwise, we shall be like people putting balm on a septic wound. These cameras might turn out to just be a decoration. If they can be turned off without consequences, as it happened in Ojwang's case, we need a legal framework whereby there are consequences for turning off a body cam or a vehicle camera or things, a dash cam or something like that. We must have a legal framework for addressing those kind of excesses. So I would request that, as I support this motion, I would request that maybe the draft of the motion considers expanding it beyond the presentation of a cultural problem as one that can be fixed with technology, to go and address the underlying problems that are bringing policing into disrepute in this country. It's very disheartening to see a police officer walking in torn shoes. It's very sad. The constable on the beat is the symbol of the republic. That's why it's a police officer who wears the crown on their head. The emblem is worn, they wear on their body, the security officers. The military people, the police, they wear it on their body. On the president, the emblem is placed on the wall. Even Madam Speaker, the emblem for you is on the wall up there, it's not on your body. It's only a police officer. It's only a security officer, military officer, who wear those things, because security is a major ingredient of a republic. And so if it's a pillar of the republic, how are we treating our security people? How are we treating our security? We have seen in Boni, wherever they are being killed, they are dying. How did we get accountability? Why people would be in a war zone in a light-skinned vehicle that goes over a landmine and they all die? I have a motion in this House, a petition in this House, where more than 400 police officers who were injured in the course of duty have been assessed and cleared for compensation, have for years not been paid. What is happening? When you come to the question of promotion within the ranks and files, those who don't know anybody never get promoted. Promotions have become a preserve of relatives, friends, and the connected. The force is dying, the force is crying, and it is this House which has the tools and the capacity to save the Kenya Police Service, the administration of police, and in general the entire National Police Service. We are also seeing the incessant fights between the Inspector General of Police and the Commissioner, the Commission, the National Police Service Commission. These are among other things that are again undermining policing in this country. We have now seen two court cases have been filed. Why is it not possible for this House to look into these things and make, if the law is having a lacuna, this House should fix the lacuna. We have got Professor Ojanda here, very seasoned professor of law. They could help us to fix those kind of lacunas so that we can have the intention of the framers of the Constitution who came up with the National Police Service to oversight the human resource needs of the police to do so. We also need to look at the question of a police union. The police in this country must be allowed to form a labor union like policemen across the world have, so that their needs can also be addressed in a formal and structured manner. The idea that the police cannot form a union that they can go to when they are in distress is one of the issues that is contributing to the mental illness many policemen are facing today, the suicides, the murders, the desertions, and the lethargy of the work. I don't know, almost today, an average policeman in Kenya is a drunkard. Some are even obese. They're supposed to be soldiers, they're obese. Total disorganization in the force. So we need to bring discipline back, but we need to do it comprehensively and look at the culture of policing in this country. And then once we get the police properly.
Senator Majority, what is your point of order?
Madam Speaker, I was really enjoying the submissions by my friend Senator Umtata and learning a thing or two until he uttered the words that the average policeman is a drunkard. Mr. Speaker, I think that's an unfair judgment on our officers. While there is an alcohol problem, which even none other than the Cabinet Secretary for Interior has confirmed, because I've seen occasionally some of them completely inebriated and unable to carry out the responsibility, I think to pass judgment on nearly half the members of that institution is not a fair assessment. Maybe he would have said there's an alcohol problem amongst quite a good number of officers which needs to be addressed, but I felt that his use of the word on average, that's a bit too strong, Senator Umtata, and I don't think that's a statement of fact which I want to request if you can kindly omit it and replace it with a more suitable judgment on our officers.
Senator Umtata, unless you have any scientific evidence that the average police person in Kenya is a drunkard, withdraw that. Withdraw that statement.
The word average is not scientific itself. So, but I think the way Majority has done it, he has put it in there. I think we should replace my words with what he has just said. I agree fully with
it. It is you to replace your words, not we. Don't bring us into your...
Yeah, so I request the Hansard to adopt, I can't get, if I try to repeat and mess it up. He put it so well. He's a poet.
So you are withdrawing and adopting the words of the majority.
I'm withdrawing and adopting the words of the majority leader, the way he put it.
Proceed.
Yeah, so I'm saying that the culture around policing needs to be addressed holistically. This motion is important, but it is trying to put lipstick on a pig, as they put it.
Can you give the senator 1 minute to finalize his lipstick statement?
It does not holistically address the problem. So I think that we ask the move of this motion to look at it, and I've had so many good comments that have come from the members, to see if we can expand this motion to be an entry point for this House to try and address the problem of policing in this country and see how we can assist them, and even ensure that the big budgets that we allocate to the police end up doing the work that the police are supposed to do. That's what I will pray, because when you go to, everywhere you go, you find